Every year, trillions of dollars in criminal proceeds enter the global financial system. They do not arrive as a sudden surge. They blend into the background of millions of everyday, legitimate transactions. This process relies on smurfing, the practice of breaking large sums of cash into small, fragmented deposits. By keeping a transaction at exactly $9,990, criminals stay beneath the mandatory $10,000 reporting threshold set by the IRS. Moving millions of dollars through these small increments requires an army of money mules. These individuals push fragmented funds into the system through diverse channels, including cryptocurrency, prepaid cards, and traditional bank transfers. This creates a layer of insulation for the ultimate beneficial owner, or UBO. Consider Ken Brown, a dedicated husband and community volunteer who worked as a corporate controller. Behind that domestic mask, Ken was the proxy for an active business client, using his position to channel illicit investments into offshore accounts. Modern financial crime thrives on this professional anonymity. It hides behind routine spreadsheets and standard corporate audits, executed by individuals who look like boring, mid-level employees. To move money without raising eyebrows, Ken Brown established a series of corporate subsidiaries. These offshore accounts allowed him to disguise dirty capital as routine investments coming from active business clients. These are illicit financial flows, or IFFs. This spectrum of activity, ranging from tax evasion and embezzlement of natural resources to state-level corruption, is designed to mimic the standard operating procedures of a global business. These transactions are masked by the logistical scale of international commerce. When thousands of container ships and billions of wire transfers move daily, identifying the illicit needle in the global haystack becomes a massive structural challenge. When a criminal operation perfectly replicates the behavior of a legitimate multinational corporation, the traditional law enforcement strategy of following the money fails. The money trail simply blends into the noise of global trade. To protect themselves, banks implemented automated transaction monitoring. These systems operate on rigid, rules-based logic designed to flag any activity that deviates from a fixed set of parameters. However, these rules create a systemic bottleneck. If a system triggers an alert for every transaction that is even slightly unusual, it generates a constant stream of low-quality data. This results in an overwhelming rate of false positives. These incorrect alerts freeze legitimate business activity and create a state of permanent alert fatigue for financial institutions. Human compliance teams are buried under the sheer volume of these alerts. Because it is physically impossible to investigate every false alarm, real criminal activity remains hidden beneath layers of digital noise. This oversensitivity effectively blinded the banks. Their security system became so focused on catching everything that it eventually lost the ability to distinguish between a routine wire transfer and a professional laundered deposit. This friction does more than just slow down banking. It actively drains value from the global economy. Many businesses find themselves in an agreement trap. The time and money lost to inefficient contract management and slow compliance onboarding significantly hinders business velocity. The economic impact is staggering, with an estimated $2 trillion in value lost annually to these systemic inefficiencies. Catching hidden actors like Ken Brown requires moving past rigid, automated rules. Financial institutions need the ability to conduct behavioral analysis in real time. Identifying modern money laundering requires behavioral modeling. By analyzing the intent behind a transaction rather than just checking its dollar amount, banks can finally look past the surface of the cash. AI-driven anti-money laundering systems represent the modern solution to alert fatigue. These platforms act as an autonomous filter, clearing the backlog created by legacy software. These systems utilize AI forensics and dynamic risk assessment. Rather than following a fixed checklist, they learn the specific behavioral patterns of users to distinguish between an actual threat and a legitimate outlier. Coordinating 28 AI agents, this architecture cross-references behavioral data in milliseconds to achieve a fraud detection accuracy of 99.8%. This reduces the false positive rate to less than 0.25%, freeing human investigators to focus on confirmed risks. AI provides the only scalable way to isolate a criminal signal within the deafening volume of global commerce. Defeating sophisticated criminal networks requires more than just software. It necessitates a holistic toolkit that combines AI precision with flexible global policy. International frameworks, such as those designed by the IMF, are moving toward a mixed approach. These policies allow governments to address tax evasion and tax avoidance separately, depending on the specific dynamics of the region. Geopolitical shifts are reinforcing this technological shield. New governance policies, like the OECD Pillar 2 Global Minimum Tax, are closing the legal gaps that shell companies have traditionally used to stay hidden. This represents the future of compliance, an automated architecture that evolves alongside criminal tactics. For the very first time, the global financial immune system is adapting faster than the threats it faces. This shift turns the tide, ensuring in the digital age, illicit capital has nowhere to hide.